Hello guys, what is up? Welcome back to yet another video. Today, we're not doing a challenge. We're not doing a top 10. We're not doing a brawler rap. We're not doing any of that. We're doing one of those old theory videos I used to do a long time ago. And today we're talking about a possible crossover game between all Supercell games and all Supercell characters. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. First off, we need to divide this subject into 3 questions. So first off, could this game be made? Second, would people actually play it? And third, would a crossover game actually be good for Supercell? To top it all off at the end, I just made my own roster to check out all the characters that would be really cool in this game, as well as my friend made another roster, so that part will just be to like visualize what a crossover game would actually be and how much fun it would be. So let's get right into it with the first question. Could it be made? So actually I think it could be made, although it definitely would not be easy. Because it would still have to be original. It would feature all the most iconic characters from the other games, but it still should be its own game that people will play for years, and it should be at least as successful as the other Supercell games. And it might be a bit difficult to do that. Usually when there are crossover games, it's either fighting games or battle royale games, which are not very easy to play on phones, so they would have to invent new controls or make some new controls that would be a lot easier to play on a mobile device than on console, because most of the time fighting games are on console, and battle royale game would not be such a great option actually, because it's kind of out of style and it was just a trend back then, but it wouldn't be as popular now. So anyway, I think Supercell could still do it even though it's difficult, and it might even be able to invent a whole new game genre like they have before, because as you guys know, Supercell has invented some game genres like the arena in Clash Royale, like the arena game genre, and the building based game genre, although it wasn't really them who invented it, but it's them who made it popular with the release of Clash of Clans. So I'm not afraid about that. I think it's possible, although it will not be easy, and if anyone could pull it off, it's definitely Supercell, although I'm not really sure how they would be able to do it, but I know that they can, because the Supercell team has fixed similar problems in the past with very fun and creative ideas, so yeah. And in case any of you are worried about the lack of content in this game, well, Supercell has a lot of inspiration to come out with a whole bunch of iconic characters from 5 different games: Brawl Stars, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Heyday, and of course Boom Beach, which all have a whole bunch of cool characters with different abilities, and it wouldn't be too hard to adapt those abilities and those characters into a game where they could all be balanced and play together. Except for maybe the Heyday characters. They probably shouldn't be included in a fighting game because their game has nothing to do with violence, and it wouldn't make sense to have them fight against other characters that all have weapons and superpowers, and it would be pretty hard to find some abilities that could match the abilities of all the other characters from the other games. Because most of the Heyday characters are actually just like farm animals, so yeah. Except for maybe the Heyday chicken. I wouldn't mind if they added 1 or 2 characters from Heyday just as a joke, but I wouldn't want a big part of the roster to be devoted to Heyday, because it wouldn't really make sense. Now for the second question, would people play it? Well, it partly depends on if the game is actually good and if the controls are smooth and all that, but if the game is good, I think it will attract a lot of players, because all the fans from all the other games would want to at least try the new game to see how their favorite characters would play in a different game or in a different environment. This would be great for this game, for a crossover game, because as soon as anyone would see an ad for this game, they would go straight up and download it just to try out their new characters, and the more people that download it, the more people that might actually start enjoying the game and start playing it like regularly. I'm sure that tons of people will try it because, and this is true for all Supercell games by the way, they're all free and they're all mobile games. Almost everyone has a phone or an iPad or something to play mobile games on, and it's free, so you don't need to pay anything. And the advertising for new Supercell games is a lot of times pretty easy, because all they have to do is put an ad on their other games, like they did when Brawl Stars was released. I remember on Clash of Clans, on Clash Royale, they put a whole bunch of Brawl Stars ad on their other games that they know millions of people play, so a lot of people will be aware of the release of the new game, and of course Supercell will make sure that it's a quality game so that when people try it, they'll stay hooked and play it a long time. So I'm not too worried about the quality. I'm sure that when people try it, they're gonna have fun, and with all the ad they get from their other games, as well as all the YouTubers that play their other games, that are probably going to shout out the new game and probably play it and do some gameplay. I'm sure that a new Supercell game will always be popular, even if they don't pay for too many ads. And let's not forget that Supercell is a very well-trusted company since all their games have been pretty good. So most people don't mind trying out a new game and already expect that it's going to be good. Now, would it be good for Supercell, the company, to release a game like this? Well, actually, I think no. Not right now. It would be a pretty bad idea to release a game right now, no matter what game, because Brawl Stars is still a relatively new game. It's getting constant updates, and Clash Royale got a new, not that new, but it got a really big update that brought a lot of players back to the game. So Clash Royale is doing great, Brawl Stars is doing great, and Clash of Clans also got Battle Pass. Now it's at Season 2 as I'm making this video, halfway through Season 2, and yeah, a lot of people are actually buying the Battle Pass from Clash of Clans, and that also kind of revived Clash of Clans. Even not as much as the Builder update, not as much as the Builder base update, but still revived Clash of Clans pretty well. And I'm sure that Supercell is a wise enough company to realize that now would not be a good time to release a new game. Maybe start a new game, like release it in beta, start working on a new game, but definitely not release it now. And that brings me to another point. If Supercell were to release a game soon, we would have known about it a long time ago, because they obviously try out their games on beta, and their games are usually first on beta, only available in a few countries for about a year before they actually get released to the global public. So we would have known if Supercell was working on a game right now, which they aren't. So for this question, I'm gonna have to say no, at least not in the next few years. Maybe in about 2 or 3 years they could release the game, but if they were to release it now, it really wouldn't be good for the company, and it would just take the attention out from their other games that otherwise would still have a lot of players. So even if it will be a while until a game like this will be released from Supercell, I'm still pretty excited, and I'm almost certain that eventually Supercell might release a game. It might be in 100 years from now, but I'm still willing to bet that one day this game will exist. And that's why I made my own roster that I will be presenting to you right now. Now, the roster is just for the characters, not for the maps, but for the maps it's pretty simple. Brawl Stars is a whole bunch of maps you can choose from. In Clash Royale, you can choose any of the arenas. In Boom Beach, you could choose a beach, pretty much. That's the only map I can think of. And in Clash of Clans, just the village and the Builder Village would be the only 2 maps from that. Unless they can probably think of something else, but that's what comes to mind when I think of the maps. And now for the characters, we'll start off with the Brawl Stars characters. Now, I actually picked 7 Brawl Stars characters that I would actually like to be in the crossover game, but if you don't agree with me, just comment down below. And first off, El Primo. Then we've got Spike. In third, none other than Jesse. Number 4, we've got the man himself, Colt. 5, Shelly. Over here we've got Crow. And last but not least, Dynamac. Now for Boom Beach, we have the Soldier. After that, we have the Bazooka and the Heavy. And finally, the Commander. Now for Clash of Clans, we've got, well, this one's pretty obvious, the Goblin. Then we have the Giant. Up next, the Witch. And let's not forget the Hog Rider. And of course, we have the Archer Queen and the Barbarian King. Now for Clash Royale, I chose the Baby Dragon, the Giant Skeleton, which is very zoomed in, I'm gonna have to call my editor. The Prince, which is also, wait, I'm the editor, okay, I should probably fix this. The Princess, actually, I don't have time to fix that, I gotta study. The Musketeer, and of course, the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Sorry for the bad quality pictures that are extremely zoomed in. Oh, and over here is the roster that my friend made, in case you were wondering. He's actually the one that came up with this whole idea, this whole video idea. And link to his YouTube in the description below. Hope you enjoyed the video. That's gonna be the end. And peace. Maybe check out some other of my videos or subscribe to my friend Fat Al, also known as Electricity. Like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell to be alerted for more content and whatever. Goodbye.